I'm not sure why they called it that. No one around here has ever called it anything but M&M. It's me. Welcome to my channel. We're going to talk about the top 5 rarest Minneapolis-Molines today. Now, there is some debate over what exactly is a rare tractor and what is a common tractor. So we're going to go by production numbers. The lower the production numbers, the rarer the tractor. And that's just for this episode, because in other episodes we've talked about other things like survivors. This is just the rarest ones based on the serial number breakdowns that we have. So the first one is actually the first tractor that I ever owned. I did not know it was rare at the time. Otherwise, I probably would have held on to it. And that is a 1947 Model U. And according to the serial number breakdown we have, only 3 were produced in 1947. So that makes them extremely rare. They only made 38 total. If you want to find one of these today, you probably got to look in the upper Midwest, maybe even further north into Canada. Now, when we get into the 1950s, we start to see some big changes at Minneapolis-Moline. In 1950, they released their new line of tractors called the MM. The next tractor on our list is also from the early 1950s, and this is the 1951 Minneapolis-Moline ZT30. Now, the ZT series was a little bit different because it had a diesel engine in it. And they weren't just putting diesel engines in tractors at this point. It was really kind of rare. And the ZT30 was the largest tractor that they offered with a diesel engine option. They only made 36 of these tractors. And if you wanted to find one of these today, you better have a lot of money because they're super rare. You probably will never see one. And if you do, it's probably going to cost you a pretty penny. Next up is another diesel tractor, and it's the 1956 diesel version of the G100 power tiller. Now, this is interesting because the G100 itself was a very common tractor. In fact, it was the second most popular tractor that Minneapolis-Moline made. They made 17,862 of them. But the diesel version of the G100, they only made 522 of them. And if you want to find one of these today, you better be prepared to search for a while. You probably won't find one in your lifetime. But if you do, it's probably going to be worth quite a bit of money. Moving on to the next tractor, we're going to move into the 1960s now, and this is the 1961 Minneapolis-Moline G175 diesel. Now, the G175 itself was not a rare tractor. They made 14,859 of them. But again, if you got the diesel version of it, it becomes a lot more rare. They only made 1,500 of the G175 diesels. And if you want to find one of these today, you probably got to look down south because they only made them for about 4 years. And it seems like the majority of them ended up down in the southern states. And now, we come to the final tractor on our list. And it's probably the rarest tractor that Minneapolis-Moline ever made. And it's hard to believe that they only made 3 of them. And that is the 1968 Minneapolis-Moline G175 utility, which was a convertible. So it was a row crop tractor that could be converted into a utility tractor by changing the front end loader and the back end. Now, I don't think any of these 3 were ever restored, so none of them exist today. But the coolest part about this is that I actually have the brochure for it and the original price list. As I said before, I think one of them may have ended up in Canada, but no one knows for sure. If you happen to stumble across one of these, please let me know. I would love to know what happened to them. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any information on any of these tractors, please let me know. Also, if you have any information on someone who might own one of these, please let me know. I would love to get in touch with them and maybe even do an interview. Well, that's all we have for today. We'll catch you guys later.